equally with the president, he's probably the worst president in the history of our country. He's a very divisive person, which is why he brings this kind of stuff up. And he should have devoted more time to working on a good nuclear deal with Iran instead of what he's doing, because he has just been a disaster for our country.
You look at what's happened with Mr. Trump when he's made some of the remarks that, for example, challenged the heroism of Mr. McCain. The Republican Party is shocked, and yet that arises out of a culture where those kinds of outrageous attacks have become far too commonplace. The point is, we're creating a culture that is not conducive to good policy or good politics. The American people deserve better. Certainly presidential debates deserve better.
One positive thing about President Obama.
It's very hard. That's the only really tough question you've asked me this morning. That's a very hard thing to say. I'll tell you what I thought, and I really felt strongly about this. When he won the election, which, was very hard, in all fairness, for John McCain to win because Karl Rove did such a rotten job with Bush. So it was a very hard thing for anybody to win that election. So when he won, I said, at a minimum, he's going to be a great cheerleader for this country. And he's turned out to be a negative force. He's creating class warfare. He's creating all sorts of things, including the so-called Occupy movement. But when he won, I really thought, at a minimum, that he was going to be a great cheerleader for the country. And he's not even a good cheerleader.
There's a vicious rumor floating around that I think could really hurt Mitt Romney. I heard he passed universal health care when he was governor of Massachusetts. Someone should get to the bottom of that. And I know just the guy to do it. Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience.
He didn't kill bin Laden. He gets so much credit for that. Okay, excuse me.
He authorized.
Excuse me.
He had the guts to make that decision.
And the genius, excuse me, guts. You're sitting in the White House. They come to you, and here's the question. We can take him out. We have him. You're the president. We can take him out with a missile, and we can go get him. Now, the third thing is leave him alone. And nobody, only a very stupid person would say that. So we can take him out with a missile. We can do either way. Either way, it's okay. All right? Either way, it's okay. So he said, all right, let's go get him. Why does he get so much credit? They give him credit for that. He shouldn't get so much credit. He happened to be sitting in that...
It wasn't a slam dunk.
Excuse me.
You remember Jimmy Carter and
Jimmy
the
Carter
hostage rescue?
Jimmy Carter was incompetent. Look, very nicely. We can take him out with a missile, or we can pick him up. He's sitting in the White House. These military guys who were there long before he was there, they found him. Now, the bad news is Pakistan should have told us this years before, because they knew exactly where he was. He's sitting right next to one of their major military bases. So, I mean, for them not to have told us is very insulting. But I don't know why Obama gets credit for the whole bin Laden thing. He's sitting there. He's got three choices. Leave him alone, which nobody would do. Take him out with a missile, or take him out with the military. So he said, take him out with the military. Okay. Congratulations.
If it would have failed, it would have been a disaster.
The ones who should get no, it would have been a disaster. It could have failed, but he didn't. He's not the one that made it successful.
Some of those Navy SEALs would have been killed.
They were great. They were great.
But they're great guys. It was a dangerous mission.
They're great guys. But anybody in that position, sitting, happened to be president, if you walk in and say, we have bin Laden, we can either get him this way or that way, honestly, either solution's okay. I almost think the other would have been better, except this way there's a little more proof. And a lot of people disagree with what happened after the fact and the way he was treated so solemnly. I mean, they treated him so solemnly after the fact. Cleanse the body, wash the body. I mean, give me a break. But anybody sitting in that office, Wolf, would have done. So I keep hearing about, oh, bin Laden. The military did an incredible job. And they called him and they said, we have him. And he said, go get him. What's he going to say? Don't get him? And he gets all this credit? It's a lot of credit.
What's this thing with Trump and you? It's like me and Letterman. What has he got against you here? I don't get it.
You know, this all dates back to when we were growing up together in Kenya.
Yeah.
And,
I gotta give you that one.
we had, you know, constant run-ins on the soccer field. And, you know, he wasn't very good and resented it. You know?
Have you?
When we finally moved to America, I thought it'd be over. But
No. Have you met him? I know you're been in the same room. I saw you at the correspondence. Have you met him?
I haven't actually.
You haven't actually met him?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No.
Politics may be more than what's good for the country, but ultimately what's good for the country is to get a new president, because we have a president now that has made this country the laughingstock of the world. Right now, if he ran, you'd beat him. Anybody would beat him, because this has been such a mess and it's been so bad for him. It shows he's not so great, okay? So anybody would beat him. If this happened again, but you know, you have a very short memory. I mean, people have a short memory. Everybody has a short memory. You go to Saudi Arabia, you go to China, you go to Abu Dhabi, you want to see airports, you want to see structures, you want to see roads. It's unbelievable. They're paved in gold. Then you go to LaGuardia Airport. It's like from a third world country. You go to Kennedy Airport. You go to Newark Airport.
But how did that
you go
happen?
to Los Angeles. You go to LAX.
How did that happen? And that predates even President Obama. I mean, that predates President Obama.
It does. We've had bad leadership. Hey, look, was I ever a big fan of Bush? You know I wasn't, okay? The fact is we've had horrible leadership, but right now we have probably the worst leader we've ever had, especially when it comes to rebuilding our once great country. We're not a great country anymore. Everyone's talking about investment. You know, the other day I had somebody up, oh, here's where you should invest. Where? China, India. I said, what about the United States? I want to invest. Well, that's much slow. Invest in China, invest in India, invest in every country but our country. Now, these are Wall Street geniuses, and they say, put your money here, but they don't want to invest their money in this country.
How about Steve
They have
Wynn?
no confidence in this country. We're laughed at. I mean, what's being abused, it's being taken advantage of, and it's being run by incompetent people.
All right. Well, if you look, or is it they don't understand business, or because of the uncertainty of sort of the politics of the world? What is it?
I think it's everything, but I think it's also the fact that our leaders are not as smart as leaders in other countries. They are not.
Are you saying he's stupid?
I'm not saying anything.
Well, you keep saying the president isn't smart.
I don't think, well, he's certainly not smart when it comes to business. He's certainly not smart when it comes to running a country. I don't think this country has ever been so disrespected as we are right now. Other countries are laughing at us. I deal with these people. I like them. They're friends of mine. Even some of the leaders, I know them. I respect them. I think they respect me. I don't hold it against them. I mean, I wish our people would be able to do what they're doing. You look at what's going on. You order products. It's from China. It's from all over the world.
What do you think the president thinks about that?
I don't think he thinks about it. I mean, all he does is campaign. I think what he is, he's a pretty good campaigner. I don't think he's a great campaigner, by the way, because actually Hillary was really, kicking his ass at the end. I mean, you know, she got started late. She should have done what she did. But he really limped across that line. I don't think he's a great campaigner. I think he's a good campaigner. I think that's his strength, is campaigning. He never made a deal in his life except for his house in Chicago, which is a very suspect deal. He's very bad for this country.
Example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night. Well handled, sir. Well handled. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
It's rare politicians actually admit mistakes. You've admitted you made mistakes in the past.
I have.
Well, you and I talked about President Obama and the whole birth certificate thing.
I didn't say it was a mistake. I just said I don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm asking you now, do you accept that President Obama was born in the United States, is not Muslim?
I really don't know. I mean,
You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't release his records. But, you know, honestly, I don't want to get into it. He came up with this thing all of a sudden miraculously. Remember this one thing. I'm only going to get one thing, because I'm about jobs, the economy, and I'm about the military and taking care of our vets.
But you still don't know.
No, let me just tell you something. Do you know that Hillary Clinton was a birther? She wanted those records and fought like hell. People forgot. Do you know that John McCain was a birther, one of those records? They couldn't get the records. Hillary failed. John McCain failed. Trump was able to get him to give something. I don't know what the hell it was, but it doesn't matter, because I'm off that subject. I'm about jobs. I'm about the military. I'm about